As promised, this video is about water. It's about what water isn't probably the best to drink and what water is ideal or optimal to drink and how we can make water optimal for this system so that it works best for this, so that it works best for you. Now, I'm going to preface this with a short article that I found. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of that Japanese fella that did the study on water, and what he did was he subjected the water to various intentions or energies, like one had a note, I'll kill you, one had a note, I love you, etc., etc. And then he froze that water and then captured an image of the snowflakes or the crystallization that appeared afterwards. But anyways, I'll read on this. Water consciousness first gained international attention with the unconventional but groundbreaking experiments of Japanese researcher Masaru Emoto. While you may not recognize his name, chances are that you have seen or heard of his work, namely, the theory that water can understand and retain the energy of human intention. In the 1990s, Emoto performed a series of experiments in which water was kept in a variety of bottles, each carrying a label with a different message. The messages ranged from positive and caring, thank you, love, to negative, I hate you, I want to kill you. And then drops of water from these bottles were placed on slides and deep frozen to form snowflake-like crystals. His findings were astounding. The crystals that formed on positive messages were found to be more geometric and aesthetically pleasing, while the crystals formed by water with negative messages were chaotic and non-uniform in shape. Emoto also carried out further experiments over the course of his career, notably an instance in which he played Mozart and heavy metal music to samples of water and captured images of the differences between the two crystals. Also, a crystallized sample of reservoir water before and after receiving a Buddhist prayer. He called his findings Heido, the life force energy consciousness of varying frequencies infused in all matter. The follow-up argument has been this. Given the high water composition of the human brain and body, if water is in fact conscious and receptive to energy frequencies, how can these positive or negative messages affect our body on a molecular level? While his work has certainly stirred up controversy in the scientific community and attracted many skeptics, boo, it has also found many fans and supporters, yay, and continues to gain traction among homeopathic communities. Now, I'll just touch on that last bit. I actually did a little bit of research, and there has been some scientific, academic papers published on his work that seem to back up his contention and what Emoto was saying and what he was doing with his experiments. So, in a nutshell, water is very receptive to the energies that are imparted on it. And obviously you can take water into your system that is full of positive energy, or you can take water into your system that's full of negative energy. Now, one thing you can do to avoid taking in water of negative energy is drinking straight from the tap. Number one, simplest and easiest thing, because when water travels to your tap, it's traveling at a high speed through a series of bends. It's quite turbulent and chaotic, and the water imbibes those turbulent and chaotic characteristics. So one simple thing you can do is water that you're going to drink from the tap, you can just let it settle for 20 minutes before drinking it, and just letting it settle, it will naturally find its natural, more stable state. So a little less chaotic and a little less turbulent. So that's number one thing. Number two thing. Just like water can imbibe the energies and frequencies of words and intentions, it can also imbibe the energies and frequencies of products. So, if you're drinking water from plastic vessels, cut it out. I mean, you can, it's not the end of the world, but now you know, so why would you? So, moving up from plastic bottles, the next best thing you can do is, and in the yogic sciences, these two things, glass, and stainless steel. Now, in the yogic sciences, these two things, it's said that they have a neutral energy reverberation. So if you hold water in them, you're not making it worse, you're not making it better. It's neutral. So that's a step forward in the right direction. Now, if we want to store our water in things with high positive vibrations and reverberations, so that the water that we consume and take into our bodies also takes on those positive energies, is number one, this is a fantastic one, copper vessel. Copper, if you store your water in a copper vessel and leave it there for a couple hours, it will naturally take on those positive energies of the copper. And copper's highly antimicrobial, antiviral, antibacterial, and it has a few other health benefits in terms of cleansing out the liver and kidneys, so I'm told. But amongst that, if you put your water or store your water in a copper vessel, even like this one, the water is going to take on those positive vibrations, those positive frequencies, and you're going to be putting that into you, and therefore you're going to be, because you're 76% water, don't forget that. So you'll be 76% of you will be of a good vibration. Another material that will imbue your water with positivity, ceramic, or not ceramic, clay. Clay, it's an earthen material, it's part of the earth. Again, you're storing your water in clay, positive. We want that. So they're all well and good. So they're ways that you can store your water, and what each way and how each way impacts or affects the water that you are storing. Now, moving forward brings me to the type of water we drink, where the water comes from. So, tap water, it's good, but we're lucky in Australia, in Melbourne, we got good tap water, but there's still chlorine, there's still fluoride, there's still other things present in it, which, they're in small, very, very small concentrations. But I don't know, feel free to, regularly consume small amounts of chlorine and fluoride. I mean, we put chlorine in pools to kill off everything in there. Again, fluoride is also been proven to be very toxic in higher concentrations. So feel free, if that's your jam, to continue consuming water with those things in it. Go for your life. But moving forward, what we can do, you can either get something like this from the shops. That cost me $8.50. It's 10 litres. Not the most economical way to go about it, but at least it doesn't have fluoride, it doesn't have chlorine, it doesn't have all that other shit in it that again, it's in small concentrations, but still, personally, I don't want to be consuming chlorine, even the littlest fucking bits of chlorine, on a regular basis. And a more economical version of this, you can invest in a water filter. I have, it hasn't come yet, but you can get water filters that filter out all the chlorine, all the fluoride, whatever else you want it to filter out. And some, if you go real fancy and spend heaps of money, they add all these positive vibrations, like what I was telling you about. They can also mineralize the water, which is another, minerals are good for us. So yeah, those are a few ways that you can improve the quality of the water that you consume. This is probably the peak of water. If you can find a clean, unadulterated stream, probably would be high up in the mountains or near a spring, and you can drink from that. Again, that's another fantastic way, because that water, it's coming straight from the earth. I mean, I'm no scientist and I haven't read up on any scientific studies backing this up, but I'm sure if you're drinking water straight from a fresh, clean and natural spring, it's going to be pretty damn good for your system. So before wrapping this up, I want to bring you to the final thing, how you can absolutely optimize the shit out of your water. And that is, I have this thing, it's called a jivarasam. It's a small egg-shaped copper thing with a snake coiled around it. Inside it contains vibhuti, or otherwise known as sacred ash. Now, it's not just the item and the materials itself, but it's undergone a certain process of consecration. So it's a consecrated item. A consecration, in my limited knowledge, is just, again, a certain way of imbuing some really powerfully strong positive energies into something. So I have this thing, it cost me $150. And it's a way that you can, you've got all these things that you can improve the quality of water, but this just takes it to that next level and consecrates the water and really imbues it with powerfully strong positive vibrations. And I just sit it. It's that thing there. You can sort of see the snake coiled around the outside of it, and it's egg-like shape. So that is the final piece of the puzzle if you want to drink some uncut water. No cutters in this water, mate. We don't want any cutters in our water. So yeah, if you want to get uncut water, that is really good for your body, your health, your mind, your energy, all of the above. Now you know what to do.